Hello everybody, this is a Lighthouse Hall of Fame film from the European server. It's Katazzy with the second entry for M41 Bulldog. We're in Malinovka Standard Mode Southeast, and he's in the middle of the order of battle, so great position for him and his scout. There's no artillery this battle and 2 scouts apiece, lots of heavies on the enemy team, and decent amount of heavies on his team. They have a few more mediums, one more medium I think, and one more TD. So not quite as dependent on heavies as the enemy team is. Run up the middle here. There's the LTTB setting up and manages to get a glimpse of him, so he has to stay in the depression, and now he'll try to peek at you and get some spots for his team, or once he gets concealment, pull up into the bush anyway. Gets his spots and has to back off right away. And he's saying, enough of that, I'm just going to end up getting in a position where I die if I stay there, so I'm going to move off and try to help my team another way. Surviving down there without being in the bush is all dependent on how many tanks move up here and what kind they are. If people move up here that can keep spotting you, then you don't exist long down there. If nobody moves up into this area, then you can just pull up and spot and back down. Especially with no arty, you can survive down there, but he didn't like what he saw moving around on the battlefield, so he chose to back out completely.
Target acquired. I don't see the target. Target acquired. Where'd they go?
He's waiting on his team to take that LTDB out, and they do. It's very tempting to go ahead and shoot, but if you shoot, you're probably going to be spotted. Both the enemy scouts are dead, and that bodes well for his team. Now he's going to pull forward onto this ramp and try to get a bunch more spots. It's a fun place to go. If you never go here, you really need to try it. You need to be aware, especially of tanks up here on the back side of the chapel will sometimes spot you when you pull up, and tanks hiding in the bushes up here sometimes will see you when you don't realize they're there. But it's a really fun place to go to. As you can see, you can light up people behind this rock over here. He's far enough away from that tiger, you can probably shoot and not get seen. And he's doing it. And the tiger's hurting because if he stays behind the rock, Katazzy can take him out. If he moves out from behind the rock, Katazzy's teammates can take him out. He chooses just to move on. Got some good sniping opportunities up on the hill. You can back up and see if you can see that tiger again. I think I'd put one into that bush just to see if I can make the tiger move and light himself up.
Enemy armor is hit. Enemy is hit.
I'm thinking there's somebody back in here that's lighting him up when he pulls forward. I don't think it's just the carnivore. Oh, and the ELC drowned himself. Oops. Kind of a lull in the action here as everybody's waiting for somebody else to move and get out in the open where they're easy targets. And that's what I'm talking about. The goal when you come up the ramp, if you can get away with it, is to move right up here and get in these bushes, and then from there you can decide where to go. But sometimes when you do that, if there's a tank behind the church up here, it will spot you. So that's one of your vulnerable areas when you try to move up on top of the hill. And we're seeing a clash in approaches to this situation right now because the 3002 in him want to be aggressive and take the fight to the enemy, and everybody behind them want to sit back there and just wait for the enemy to come to them.
Permission to engage.
And hopefully by giving his team spots, he's going to encourage them to move forward and help out.
Target acquired. Let's find another target.
The T-34 and IS-3 are starting to get the idea.
Target acquired. Ready to fire. Target lost.
Slowly wearing down the T-28.
Critical hit. Penetration.
And there he goes. So there's just 3 heavies left. Now at this point, what you really want to see is your entire team moving forward to get into position to fire at these last spots. The TD isn't moving. Neither TD is moving. And the T-34 doesn't look like he's about to move either. And it's like you're taking what should be overwhelming number in tanks and turning yourself into a 3-on-3 by not moving forward. So you're saying, yeah, I know we have a huge advantage, but it would be unfair to use it. So we'll just sit back here and send 3 of our tanks forward to take on your 3 heavies, and that way it's fair. It's a good way to lose battles. Now they're finally figuring it out. Here comes most of the rest of them. He knows they're lurking back in the woods there, waiting for everybody else to move up before he pushes forward. And now they've all gotten over to the 5 column, so he's going to go find them and hope that his team can take the guys out before he dies.
Ready to fire. Penetration.
The Tiger's not very quick on the reflexes, so yeah, KV2 somewhere to the south.
Enemy armor is damaged. Critical hit. Target acquired. Where'd they go?
And just before the KV2 can get off a shot, the 8.8 takes him out. So even though he moved all over the map, he did his biggest damage by passive spotting. Still, he got 2,387 damage and 1 kill, 23 of 27 shooting, that's 85%. But he got 5,504 assisted damage in 9 spots. Earned 61,058 credits. Survived the fight and was awarded 2,544 XP. Got a scout medal and patrol duty medal, along with spotter, bruiser, demolition expert, and fire for effect mini medals. Battle score 2nd place, 2,614. He tried to move forward to the F5 bush. LTTB saw him on the way in, so he just stayed in this little depression. Realized that there were tanks moving up here and he probably wouldn't survive there long, so he just completely backed out. Went over to good old faithful E7 bush and spotted from there, able to see tanks moving up this road and provide a lot of spots for his team. Got off a couple shots as well. Then started to move up this way, thought the better of it, and moved down into the ramp and spent a large portion of the fight spotting from right here. You can pull up the ramp and see everybody up here. A lot of times you can snipe as well. Like I said, you got to be careful of people sitting on the back side of the church right here, especially if you try to turn to the left and come up on side. Come up on top of the hill and get inside the bush right here. Because a lot of times when you make that move, anybody by the church will see you. Now, once you pull it off and get inside the bush, then they won't see you. And you saw later on he managed to get in the bush up here. 2 heavies up here weren't able to spot him once he was inside and concealed by the bush. And then at the end, the other good decision he made, knowing the Tiger was sitting back here in the woods concealed, and so therefore the Tiger's probably going to be able to get to fire first before he gets seen. He waited for his team to finally figure out what was going on and move up into this area. So he had a lot of support fire if he needed it. Turns out he didn't. Tiger was very slow in his reflexes, and Katazzy took him out. And then ran across the map to find the KV2, found him, and 8.8 got the kill on him, but he got more spotting damage from that. So he ends up second place, M41 Bulldog. I'm sure there's going to be a lot more Bulldog battles to come in the Hall of Fame because it's a fun tank to play. A lot of people play him, and you can rack up some really big scores in it. So, the ice has been broken on the M41 Bulldog, guys. Time to add more add more films to the lineup here. Katazzy, second place. Happy hunting.